Hi everybody and welcome to the XYZ of betting. I've got Shakes Rampedi. Shakes, how are you, mate?
I'm good, and how are you guys?
Yeah, good. And I got Oliver Keohane, the money boy. Shakes, we're looking for some value in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Let's start. Let's start with Bafana Bafana versus Sao Tome, which, for those uneducated out there, is Portuguese for St. Thomas. Now, that's a tiny little island off the west coast of Africa, somewhere, I believe.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for educating us, man. I don't know that either. So,
What is it? Sao Tome and Principe, the principalities. So it's a collection of small little islands off the west coast. Were big into the cocoa trade and then discovered oil off their coast. And you know what happens when people discover oil off their coasts? They then get onto the map. I'd never heard of Sao Tome.
I remember last week.
Yeah, before, so I had to do a little bit of geographical homework, and yeah, it's an interesting place. But the most interesting thing of that, well, I'm sure it's not the most, for me it is, it's the population's about 75,000 people.
So do they have the soccer team to beat a country with a population of 50 million?
Well, 60 million. I think South Africa is about 60 million. Shakes, this without doubt is one of those games that if South Africa doesn't win, and it's Seki, the coach, is that how I pronounce his name? He's been a bit controversial in that he's become under a lot of criticism for picking two different teams for the friendlies and then picking a third different team for this game. From what I've picked up, what's your view on that? Surely friendlies are used to bleed people into the team and get experience, and then you use the same players again, not picks different. This is why this game is a very difficult one for me. I've no doubt that Bafana Bafana will win. I mean, Sao Tome have won one out of their last 16 away games, and that was against Mauritius, another tiny island. So I mean, by all accounts, South Africa should win this game by at least 3 goals.
Yeah, but South Africa have disappointed us time and time again. So
that's the thing. So, I mean, obviously, when we start off with the coach, of course, Mlupenzeki, he's been criticized a lot for probably not knowing his best team to call. So even with the friendlies, there was Namibia and there was Zambia, and he called a different team to this particular game, and his reasoning was he wanted to sort of see other players and can they bring something? Can they add something to the team and stuff? And obviously, we didn't win any of those friendlies. Now we move on to South Tome. He goes back to the trusted ones that he feels that, okay, these ones, they won't let me down ever and all that stuff. So he calls up that original squad that he called up before with the 2 friendlies. And now the thing is, like, Oliver's making a good point because it is Sao Tome, and I think, personally, in my opinion, we should be winning this game. Probably even 6-0, I probably would say that, or 5-0, we should probably be winning that. Yeah. But knowing Bafana's history, there was once a Seychelles when we played them and we drew 0-0. There was once Mauritania and we lost to Mauritania. And there was once also we played Cape Verde and we got beat by Cape Verde. So I think the value would probably be South Africa to win, and I would say South Africa and over 3.5. When those odds currently stand at 1.92. I think that's the one that I see most value in terms of that game. But knowing Bafana Bafana, they can pull out a rabbit out of the hat and somehow draw this game.
Yeah, I think also when you look at like goals scored, teams start getting fluidity going and scoring goals when they've played consistently with each other for a few weeks, you know, and you're fielding a third like different side now in this game, and like you said, they should be expected to win by 5 or 6, but it wouldn't be surprising if it ended up being like a 2 or 3 goal win, just because this team hasn't gelled in the same way that it should have been doing for the past 3 weeks. And where you would caution guys then is if odds are like 1.92 on over 3.5 goals. That's not particularly high for an over 3.5 goal market. You know, if you look to other leagues, over 3.5 goals usually sits at like 2.5 or higher. So that can be a dangerous bet when you're putting almost like all your eggs into one basket, you know, like Bafana to win over 3.5 goals, and it ends up, like you said, potentially being a 0-0, or like Bafana wins 1-0 and you're like, you know, against all expectation.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, I certainly do agree. I mean, also the fact that they were affected by the fact that there were players that couldn't come through because of COVID. Some of them did test positive. Some of them were out injured. Tivang Pete for one, Tulani Serrero, Andle Jali, Lee Frosler, Tamim Kize, Mubarak. They were out because of COVID and as well as they were injured. Then obviously he replaced them with Labusa Pule, Tabula Morena as well, some to name, Taban Dada too. So it's not really the squad he wanted because he had to make some replacements. But it's Sao Tome, and a huge advantage as well is that Sao Tome did have an agreement to play both the games, which is home and away, here in South Africa.
Yeah.
So both games will be played here in South Africa, which is a big positive for Bafana Bafana. And I see no reason why they should not win both games, considering the fact that it's in their backyard as well.
Mm. And the game tonight is at 9 o'clock in Durban. So what I've done is I've got to build a bet with South Africa halftime, full-time, over 2.5 goals, and South Africa to not concede, to win nil. That pays 2.29.
What's your bet, Shakes?
2.29.
Mm.
Yeah. Not bad. I'm going with what I will have on my bet slip is South Africa to win and over 3.5. And purely because when South Africa can turn it on, they definitely can. You look at the likes of Bonganizungu, who's moved to Rangers, and he's already spraying passes. He's already come on. He's sprayed passes. He looks good in the kit. Steven Gerrard trusts him. And this person as well, who's in great form for Anderlecht. He's already got, I think, 3 or 4 goals already for Anderlecht this season. So him and Bonganizungu will definitely play a role. Luther Singh was also in good form. He played also against FC Porto. I think his team beat FC Porto. Pacos Ferreira, I think he's on loan from Braga. And I think those guys will be very crucial and key within this fixture. And I also expect, I fully expect Bafana Bafana to roll home with this one too.
Yeah, my prediction is 3-0.
3-0.
Okay, 3-0. I'm going to go with the prediction of Bafana Bafana. I'm putting it all in your hands, man. I think everything's going to go right tonight, and I think it's going to probably be 5-0 to Bafana Bafana tonight.
I'm going right in between you guys, 4-0. I've got to build a bet on Bafana Bafana to win, for them to win half-time, full-time, for them to win with a clean sheet, and over 3.5 goals to be scored, and that gives me odds of 3.33.
It's not bad.
I'll be putting a little 100 down.
A little handy. Yeah. Any other value we see in the AFCON tonight, Shakes? Well,
look, I mean, there is some other juicy games that are playing. I think if you look at Tunisia going up against Tanzania, I mean, obviously Tunisia are a powerhouse within Africa. They have not lost any of the last 5 games, Tunisia, and they go up against Tanzania on the other hand, who've only won 1 of their last 5 games. And I think for me, the fact that even Tunisia is playing at home as well, I think it's Tunisia straight. And if anybody wanted to sort of place bets on that one, I would suggest that they go Tunisia straight win. I'm trying to look for the odds for this particular game.
I think it's about 1.18.
1.18.
Yeah, pretty low.
Yeah, that's up. So if you did really want to, maybe a value bet. Let me look for a value bet just for our viewers. I think there's another one. I think it would probably have to be Tunisia to win, and over 2.5 is sitting at 1.63, and over 3.5 is sitting at 2.56. So I can see Tunisia scoring a lot of goals tonight.
Okay.
You reckon you'll be chucking any multi-bets down?
Any multi-bets down? Look, there is Colombia and Uruguay. I'm expecting that's playing tonight at 10:30 for other people who are watching. Other than the African Cup of Nations qualifiers, there is the Commonwealth Bowl that's playing tonight. That is Colombia going against Uruguay. I think that's an easy both teams to score on that one.
Nice.
Uruguay obviously have Cavani, Luis Suarez. Colombia, luckily, James has just come back from injury, so surely he'll be featuring as well. And both of the teams, actually, as I'm looking now, for example, Uruguay, they've conceded in their last 5 games. In each game that they've played, they've conceded. Whereas with Colombia, on the other hand, There's only 2 games that have kept a clean sheet in the game. So I'm expecting both teams to score in this one.
Okay, well, there you have it. Big game for Bafana Bafana. Big game against a small team. They have to get all 6 points in this, or they're out of the African nations, the African Cup of Nations. Would you a disaster, huh?
It would be a disaster if we did not get 6 points. Never mind if we do not get 3. If we don't get 6 from the next 2 games, it is a bit of a disaster, and I think it will show that we are nowhere near ready to even maybe make the semi-finals of the AFCON, which will be next year. I do fully expect Bafana to qualify, because I think they'll finish second in the group to Sudan. Sudan is going to probably finish third, and Sao Tome will finish last. Ghana will finish first. But we have to win this one if we want any chance of tonight.
And we will. Let's have some hope for our bets and for our team.
Shake, thanks very much for your input. You certainly know your stuff when it comes to South African soccer. And good luck with your bets, bud.
Oh, always a pleasure, guys. Hopefully, the Banyana delivered for me. I'm hoping that Bafana Bafana can deliver for me tonight. And good luck with your bets too as well, guys. There's a lot of games to look out for.
Thanks, Shakes.
Thanks, Shakes. Have a great weekend, mate.